Salutations, one and all. This is my review of the Rwby official manga, chapter 16, and we open up with a very, very bad scene as Rwby is tied to a chair, and several large men are reaching out to grab her. Yeah, she does not look happy about this situation whatsoever, and I may not know exactly what these men are thinking of. I'm rather glad I don't, but I am very, very grateful that Yang and the rest of Team Rwby come in to save her. And just so you know, Yang, you're fairly justified here no matter what you do. You're saving your little sister from a group of very tall, scary men. If you want to break a few bones, permanently paralyze, castrate, kill a few of them, you're still very justified. You're still going to come out as the good guy in the situation. And just speaking of Yang, title page is an absolutely great shot of her in her dress from the dance, and she just looks so precious. It's so cute. I love it. And of course, Rwby just kind of blows off the whole kidnapping as she's trying to act like super calm, like, thanks guys, but I could have done it on my own. And of course, Weiss has to admonish her just a little bit for getting stuck in that situation, because, Weiss was a little worried about her. We were all a little bit worried about what was about to happen to Rwby. And then they run to Torchwick, and it's actually a little disconcerting how calm he is that not only did Rwby escape, but met up with her heavily armed team. He's not bothered by it at all. He's not worried, like, oh, maybe they can mess with my plans. Nope, not at all. And this makes more sense at the end of the chapter and realize, oh, he's a full army of paladin killer robots. But just right here and now, he just shows an absolute level of contempt for them. It's a little terrifying, honestly. And then he decides to show off his big-ass train, which, that is a very impressive train. Heavily armored, he basically refers to as a tank, in his evil villain monologue. Yes, Torchwick decides that this is the perfect time for him to monologue, explain his whole villainous plan to the people who are trying to stop him. We're going to take this heavily armored train, we're going to drive into the city, and then we're just going to kill a whole bunch of people. Which, okay, that's a plan. Definitely a more evil plan than the main series. The main series now is, let's blow up a bunch of holes so we can lead the Grimm to the city. That was like evil villain plan, like, haha, is my plan so evil, I'm gonna have monsters attack the city. But this is more straight up realistic evil terrorism than anything else. And then Torchwick decides to justify his actions. Not that he believes in justification whatsoever, but it's enough to really rattle Team Rwby and inspire the faunus behind him. It was you humans who pushed them to it. You persecuted, deceived, and pigeonholed them. You spout niceties and lip service to brush off the past for the sake of their brethren who've been attacked. They bear that pain, only hope to make you atone, and I am here to help them, that is all. Not gonna lie, that's a freaking impressive speech right there, Torchwick. You actually sound like you care about the faunus, about helping them achieve closure and working for a better world, even though you don't care about that whatsoever. And it just really makes him come off as such a better villain as he's manipulating both Team Rwby and his own allies with his words like this. He's very impressive. I really like just how terrifying he comes off here. It's amazing. And it works, Team Rwby is shaken by this. They don't know what to do. Weiss has no right to stop the faunus when her father, her family, has been responsible for so much of their suffering. Her whole goal of becoming a Huntress is to, fight with dignity, honor, try to balance the scales. But she knows no matter how many people she saves, it's never going to make things right. It's never going to justify what her father has done. Yang, she's a Huntress for fun, for the crazy, wild adventures. There is nothing fun about racism. There's nothing fun about solving deep-seated racial issues like this. She does not know what to do. This is not what she signed up for. And Blake, well, she understands his words better than any of them. She knows what it's like to be a faunus, to be persecuted, to be hated just for who you are, and to want to take revenge, to want to go against the people who are holding you down like that. She sought out her revenge alongside Adam. Does she have any right to tell them not to seek out their own revenge? And Torchwick has this big, creepy villain smile on his face. He realizes, I've done it. I've broken Team Rwby's spirit. I've already won. Ha 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 ha. But thankfully, there is still one more member of Team Rwby, good old Rwby, who even without her weapon, flies forward at full speed and tries to take out Torchwick. Oh my god, I love you, Rwby. That was just so absolutely amazing and so perfect. And Rwby's response here is absolutely freaking amazing and so perfect. She isn't thinking of the deep-seated racism, any of the social, political issues, the reasons the faunus has been kept down. Her justification is just so Rwby. If we let you run free, you're going to hurt a whole bunch of people again, right? And I can't allow that, which, oh my freaking god. And I just freaking love that answer. Sure, you can say Rwby's simple-minded. She's not thinking of the deeper issues, not thinking of what the Faunus have gone through. But in this situation, she's not wrong. They have to stop Torchwick or a whole bunch of people are gonna die. That's all there is to it. It really isn't any more complicated than that. No matter how much Torchwick tries to twist the facts, and Team Rwby just has this look of realization like, oh yeah, we're supposed to protect people. We're supposed to stop the villains. Let's go do that. And of course, Torchwick tries to completely twist the argument. So you're saying you should turn all the Faunus into slaves, huh? He's like, wait, when did I say that? I never said that. Oh, it's hilarious. And you know, the argument against Rwby alone would have worked. By this point, the rest of Team Rwby, they've already been broken out of his spell. They already know what they have to do the right thing here and now. And they're ready to stand by her side. As all of Team Rwby realizes, it's not their job to fight villains. It's their job to protect the people. And of course, Torchwick is a little annoyed that he couldn't rattle Team Rwby just a little bit more. But he still has his giant robots, so there's that. In fact, he has an entire army of giant robots ready to take out Team Rwby, and I'm guessing most of Vale. Which, you know, would certainly explain his confidence. And even seeing all this, Team Rwby hasn't lost the will to fight. They're going to do their best. They're going to save the day somehow, some way. They know they will. Not exactly sure how they would have done that, but thankfully, one of the robots then explodes. As Oobleck and Zwei show up, and good freaking lord, Dr. Oobleck looks amazingly badass right here. His hair flowing in the wind, his eyes glowing, his weapon at his hand, the fire and smoke all behind him. Wow, he looks badass! And oh my god, sweet little adorable Zwei is here with Crescent Rose tied to his back. That's just so freaking cute, I love that. This is seriously one of the greatest shots we've ever gotten in all of Rwby. Though the next page is pretty impressive as well, as Dr. Oobleck blows up all of the giant robots that Torchwick was going to use to take out the city, which, alright, good on you! You basically just saved the day almost single-handedly there, so impressive. And Team Rwby is a little shaking. It's like, when did he become badass? When did he become cool? When did he have time to set up charges to blow up half the giant robots? See, they've definitely got a different opinion of Dr. Oobleck now, and honestly, even I'm fairly impressed by him. And, you know, he's fairly impressed by Team Rwby as well. You fight to protect. Yes, excellent. You pass, Team Rwby. I think that one day you will all make fine Huntresses. Oh, which I just absolutely love. Yeah, that was like the whole point of last chapter. They're like, see, that was like the whole point of last chapter. They're all different answers exactly what a Huntress was supposed to be, and none of them realized, oh, I'm supposed to be a Huntress for the people. I'm supposed to protect the people in whatever form that has to take. If I have to walk kids to school just to keep the Grim away, to keep these kids and their parents safe, I'm gonna do that because I'm a Huntress and that is my freaking job. And now Torchwick is starting to look a little bit upset because his whole plan has basically just gone down in flames. And the chapter ends with Oobleck stating, do not look down, Huntsman. As all of Team Rwby and Professor Oobleck and Zwei are all combat ready and just prepared to kick his freaking butts. Oh, I'm excited for the next chapter. So yeah, he's basically lost his army of giant robots, so not a whole lot he can do when he gets to Vale. And I'm still gonna assume that somehow, some way, he's still gonna get on the train, get rolling, and Team Rwby have to catch up in the whole fight on the train as they move forward from car to car, and eventually him reaching Vale and either blowing stuff up or leading the Grim there or doing some kind of damage. I mean, I feel like the purpose of the train, was to inspire fear, to create unrest in the citizens, and, to get Torchwick arrested so he can do his whole evil plan afterwards. So I think that still needs to happen. There's a giant freaking armored train here. I feel like it has to serve some sort of purpose. Old Chekhov's gun thing, You see a gun, the gun has to fire at some point. You see a heavily armored, weaponized train, at some point it has to go do some damage. But overall, really love this chapter. I thought it did a great job of showing... I thought it did a great job having the characters come to realize exactly what their role was as Huntresses, what the meaning of their position was. They exist to protect the people. That's what they do. That's why they do what they do. Despite whatever personal reason they might have had to become Huntresses, that's the job. That's what they do. And I really love they realize it. I'm very excited to see, like I said, really excited to see what happens in this fight. I mean, most of the robots are still destroyed. I think a few are still standing, and we still have like an army of Faunus, White Fang members here to kick some butts. Hopefully we see that chainsaw guy. He was pretty badass. Definitely like to see a larger fight involving him. Not sure how many chapters the whole train thing is going to take. I mean, they could be finished by the end of the next chapter. Or it could be like a multi-chapter thing, them going train car. Hard to say. Not sure how many more chapters this arc is going to take. I feel like the end of next one could be Torchwick boarding the train, them catching up onto the back of it, having to go, like, alright, well, now we have to get to the front of the train car to stop Torchwick, and then another chapter or two of them just going from train car to train car, taking out the Faunus army, maybe taking out, maybe fighting Neo. That'd be fun. Oh, that'd be fun. I really want to see that fight with Neo. Just in this art style, it's going to look really cool. I'm very excited for that. But let me think of all down below. What do you think of Rwby's justification for fighting? What do you think of the role of Huntresses? What do you think of Dr. Oobleck being freaking badass? And just let me think is going to happen next. Be sure and like, subscribe to the next video. And until then,
peace.